My name is Arabia, and we are here in the beautiful city of Amman in the home of RABISHEIKH Jadua.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? Good to be here. Glad to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so glad to be sitting here with you because today is a very, very special day. Would you share a little bit with us?
All right, so today is the last day of the feast of Shabbat. It is the end of the 50-week period from the 50-day period from Passover into the end of the harvest season. So it's wintertime now, or we're going into winter. It's the last few weeks, and we have, it's supposed to be a week of festivities, but it all starts off and kicks off with the formal assembly of the end of the harvest season. So now we are here. So, we are glad as our first formal assembly to announce the opening of the House of Instruction Academy. I want to give a big thanks to our chairman, Sheikh Aid, and this is affiliated through the Sons of the Negev Project. So I would like Sheikh Aid and our family in Segev Shalom for helping us and coming out and getting everything kind of going here for this solemn assembly. So we have this new school, which is really great. And this school, we only have one subject, which is the Kingdom Government Administration.
Wow. And I am a student
Yes.
of the school. And as you can see, I am dressed in traditional garments, raiments. And if you'll just share a little bit, because I know it relates of what we're going to be learning in the school.
All right. So this is one of the traditional dresses of the Hebrew family. So the house of Shem is known as the Hebrew race and all of Shem's descendants. And this is how they dress traditionally. So we are in the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan in the beautiful city of Amman, here at our diplomatic house. And we are literally looking at a traditional dress. This is what Sarah would wear. And here we live the customs and traditions while learning them. And the school trains us and prepares us for building our own self-governing administration. So we're starting with education, and with anything, you got to lay a strong foundation. So that's the name of our course. It's Foundations, where we teach the basics, and you can actually do it and wear it and be celebrated in public.
Yes.
Wearing the traditional things and doing the traditional things here in the city of Amman.
Wow. So let me ask you, why did you choose Amman?
Well, Amman, the city and the nation, right? The nation of Jordan, it checked off all the criteria boxes for what was necessary for us to develop the school and the community and have that growth factor. So we're talking about, we needed a place where the traditions and the culture of history was still prevalent. The people that descended from the people of history were still present. So we needed these things to be together, and they gave us a fantastic opportunity because we needed time. You know, if you came here for a 3-week vacation, it would not be enough for you to go through the process of the schooling. Like with any school, you need time, you need the hands-on mentorship, the training, you need everything to be there, and it takes time to develop. Well, they've given that to us here. You know, with our 5-year visas, we have the time to really learn the culture, learn the language, We have time to really submerge ourselves and get ourselves fully established before we can move into our own city. And that's the goal. We have to develop, while we have this time of training, this time of schooling, we have to develop to build into our own city.
Okay, well, some of our viewers that are watching, they may be thinking, you're in a Muslim country. Why can't we do it in the States or wherever else they may be? Can you elaborate, explain to us?
Well, when you look at everybody who descends from Shem, right, including the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan, right, this is the Shem's people's kingdom. So the people of Shem live here, blood descendants. All of them are Muslim. Everybody who descends from Abraham is Muslim, right? We're not going to talk about religious branches or sectors because there's some that are Muslim and Christian. There's some that are Muslim and other religions. Being Muslim just means you submit to the law of your God. Your religious practice, however, is personal. That is between you and your God. Nobody here will ever ask you, what your religion is. You keep that to yourself. They ask you, are you Muslim? Meaning, will you keep the culture of the family, right? And the laws that came from God here. This has nothing to do with Islam and the Islamic religion, because there's many different Islamic religious sects. You could be Sufi, you could be Sunni, you could be Shia, you could be Baha'i. There's many different Islamic sects. But are you Muslim? Oh yeah, I'm Muslim. I'm keeping the laws of God as given unto one of the prophets of God. Because those laws, whether it be Prophet Moses in Mount Sinai or Prophet Muhammad, when he brought Islam to the world, 90% of those laws are the same. Whether you are from the house of Isaac or the house of Ishmael, there's very little variations, but you're Muslim, right? And because, we are building here and we want to keep religion out, we're going to take practical steps. These are the rules that were given. These are the rules we're going to follow from a traditional standpoint. We need people to come in with a fresh, clean slate and a fresh, open mind and keep your religion to yourself, because that's going to lead to problems. That's what leads to division. You come into somebody's country and you're telling them, hey, the way your culture is wrong. Right? You can't do that. That's rude.
Yes.
You don't go into somebody's house and say, hey, you know what? Your house is out of order. You're wrong. You're supposed to be doing it the way we do it in another country. And when everybody looks at that country, there's nothing but girls twerking all over the place, because the system of that country is destructive towards our people. I mean, you have got to be sick of fighting for your rights. You got to be sick of the shady politicians, and you got to be tired of having poor family values and loose morals by now. If not, I'm not knocking you. You have a place to enjoy it. Enjoy the land of freedom to destroy yourself. That's where you are in a Western society.
Yes.
But over here, we are raising people and training people to be the kings and the queens that they know they are in their blood. That's the difference. We're not talking about it so we can fight against it and have some form of equality in a place that has never been equal. It was founded on racism. It will stay racist. I'm in a place where it was founded on my family and my family's bloodline to be for us, and we had to be a certain way, and that's what we're doing. So this is the straight path to reorganizing, the straight path to re-energizing and having that greatness that was promised to us. So that's the point of why we chose Ahmad. It hit those checklists, and everywhere else was simply just not available. If we were to go to Asia, we have to start adopting Asian culture. I didn't want Asian culture. The manuscripts, the books and manuscripts that we have from antiquity that are detailed now, like we're not talking about some misinterpretation. We're talking about a direct translation. The word is Targum. We're talking about those manuscripts from Ezra and those manuscripts from Jonathan ben Uziel, who taught, and his school was one of the greatest schools of history, aside from like Moses. His school was one of the greatest schools in history for teaching the king. He was the teacher for King David, right? So we're talking about these books, these manuscripts from this time for teaching the understanding of culture, the understanding of the law, and what we're supposed to be doing as a people to organize the people to become a great kingdom. We actually can do that, but it must be done within a similar kingdom with similar traditions and values. You can't do that in a place that's against that.
Right.
So, you know, we're looking for people who have open minds and who want to learn and who want to do this, who want to return to be a prince, who want to be a king, who want to be a queen in their own right as part of a community, because there'll be many kings, but there still will be an order.
Yes.
There still will be a government organization, a governing body, which serves for the betterment of the people of the community. This is the one thing you cannot have in America.
Right.
You can form an organization, but the chief point of that organization is profitability. The chief of this organization, the chief principle, is for the development of the people and the community. We're going to work on improving the individual, then improving that individual's family, then improving that family's contribution to the community, and then that community to grow into a city. It's a culture that's to cultivate wealth and nobility from the ground up. So we are repairing each and every social issue within the family, addressing it not from a therapy standpoint, but we have rules and we have steps, and we're going to now implement these rules and these steps and allow the process of development the same way you would develop to become a teacher.
Yes.
You're going to develop to become a person who keeps this law under the rule of this law with people who share a similar culture of being morally upright. That's the goal. So you have to start, and sky's the limit. From here, we're going to start to formulate 13 different administrations. And we'll get into that in our course. So we have a course that deals with foundations. Foundations is the beginning. We're just going to know what those rules are, what the manuscripts say, and people can decide if they want to come and if they don't want to come. If they want to come, everybody who's even curious about it is going to receive our expat guidelines. Our expatriation guidelines will give a person everything that they need to know to prepare to leave the country for an extended period of time.
Okay.
So you're going to get that free when you sign up. However, if you want to know what we teach and what the course is and what our books say, those manuscripts will also be made available. You can purchase it on our website. Once you get those manuscripts, you don't even have to take the class. You can read it for yourself. You can study for yourself. That is not, the information is not withheld. The course helps you expedite the learning because you kind of see where the rubber meets the road. Because I have over 7 years of training in this to be able to coach you through it so that we can expedite it faster. So our course is only $20 a month. You're going to get 8 classes, and we still have a free open discussion for our Clubhouse podcast, which is coming up. And we also will still post those open discussions. They will be videotaped where we take questions from viewers and comments and start addressing the questions that people will have about living in a Muslim country, about traveling, about dressing, about what's it like for children, right? And how are we going to live there for an extended period of time, addressing the financial aspects, right? Because when you're building a self-sufficient community, we're talking about economics.
Right.
But you have to now start from, you're talking grassroots. So you have to now start to build and have an attachment into an economic society, which is why we're so grateful to Jordan for allowing us to do this, because we're able to patch right into their economic system, which caters to communities growing and being self-governed within its borders.
Right.
It's amazing to see. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get with the program and start. Just $20 a month, 2 classes a week, which you can take at your own time, right? If you don't come to the class, the materials is recorded and you can listen in and then respond on the message board to leave a question for the next class. The questions can go on to the open discussion in our Clubhouse podcast. And that's not all, right? So we're talking about, like, this is part of this package, but the Clubhouse is free. Our YouTube, where we post the open discussions, also free of charge.
Yes.
But you're not going to get that detailed study that you will get in our classroom. You're going to get whatever we're talking about whenever we talk about it.
Okay.
But that classroom is hands-on. From the classroom, those who arrive here with our expatriate guidelines, we will line them up. We have housing available, right? We have diplomatic buildings, with buildings where a lot of people who work in the embassies, we live near the embassies. We have these people living here among us, so this is a upper middle class area. You know, nobody's going to be in impoverished areas. So we have to negotiate how we're going to transition you. Our guidelines cuts through all of that. Transportation, we're going to work on, we have solved out housing, and we're going to work on learning culture while learning. We have a fabulous conservatory upstairs where we will sit and discuss matters with coffee, tea, food, a nice social environment, and we're going to cultivate nobility. So there's things that we just have to do for hospitality, for you to understand what the culture is, and that we have to do it. There is no way around it.
Right. Well, you know, it is interesting, you know, that it's only $20 a month. You have access to resources. And one of the resources I really am excited about is the actual manuscript scroll.
All right. So this is a unique feature that we're providing, right? It's an actual PDF copy of an actual Torah scroll, handwritten from antiquity. The writer of the scroll is not officially known, but we know the schoolhouse that it comes from. So it does come from the school of Uziel, and it was preserved when it was taken out and kept, here in the Middle East, and we got a copy of it. I'm not saying how we got a copy, but we got a copy. And now I'm able to provide that copy along with the Targum, right? The English translation, so that those who want to decode the manuscript, right? You have the complete understanding with its explanation and its details, right? And then you also you can do letter for letter and start learning the words. And from the manuscript, you'll learn that Aramaic is an Arabic dialect. You'll learn that the original Hebrew is also an Arabic dialect, so that you'll be able to communicate to the other brother and sister of the Arab nations with relative ease.
Yes.
There'll be some words that change, but you'll be able to communicate throughout the region.
Wow.
So it's the same, you get the same impact and the same tools. You get the same understanding, the same history, the same culture, and then it's just tailored to your bloodline.
Okay.
That is what we're doing. Same culture, same history, same governance, tailored to your family bloodline.
Oh, man. I'm just so excited because this is so great. Through this experience, I have noticed such a life-changing experience. My mind is clear. I have more understanding. So you viewers that are watching, I please encourage you to look into the school. Now, do a person have to move here first to be involved with the school, or can they start from home?
All right, that's the beautiful part about our school. We have launched an online foundations course. So you can get started now. While you're preparing to come, while you're thinking about maybe is this for me, let me see what this is about, you can take the online foundations course, $20 a month. That is dirt cheap, right? You can download and get the manuscripts. You can now begin to read with us and see the details and learn what the rules are. What are you subjecting yourself to, right? What can you do? What can't you do? And is this for you? Because once you get here, these rules, they become very real, very fast. And the benefits of following the rules also become very real and very fast. So it's a different dynamic. This is not something you're going to just learn, and because you have knowledge of it, you're going to be able to sit down in another country and say, I'm teaching you the law that came from this manuscript, and I'm such great knowledge, I'm a great scholar. You're going to have to be living it. You're going to have reaped the benefits of doing it, regained your status within the region in order to teach it, and you won't be able to teach it outside. You're going to have to remain here, and they have to come to you, because outside people don't want to hear you tell them how you live somewhere else and you're not living there.
Yes, you will never quite understand.
You can never understand what it's like to live somewhere and experience those people's cultures from somewhere else. If I want to know what Japanese culture is like, I go to Japan and I get it authentic from the Japanese people. Where did we get the idea that you can go experience somebody's culture and you're going to go carry it back and change another place to change into that culture that was somewhere else? That's never going to happen. It's never happened in the history of nowhere.
So once a person goes through the courses, What's the next step?
So once you go through the foundations course, say you arrive, right? Because you might take the foundations course and that's it for you. You've had enough, right? Which you can cancel at any time, right? If it's not for you, it's not for you. It's not for everybody. But those who do continue in the course, they will go through the process of development. So you're talking learning just exactly what the manuscripts say. Then you come out and you actually expatriate here. You're going to now start to live the culture and start seeing the connection between the manuscripts, what it says, and how it's performed within the culture. Then we're going to refine that even further. So now we're going to start developing financial plans, financial plannings. We're going to start developing skills, talents, and abilities. We're going to start hands-on training and mentorship and internships, paid internships. We're going to develop businesses, and then those people are going to go in and start administrations, whereas other people come in, they are going to. So we're back, by the way.
Yes.
So what we have done is you can't go to Japan and take the culture of Japan and then bring it back with you.
Right.
While you're living in Japan, you're going to experience that culture, and it stays with you as an experience that you can talk about, you can share the stories, but you can't bring Japan and that lifestyle and culture to another country. It doesn't work.
Right.
It's never worked in anyone's history. So now what we've done is we've taken this experience and we've lined out a course. So if someone, say, takes the foundation course, which is available online, and that you can start to hear what the rules are, what are you going to subject yourself to, what are you going to be learning, and going through the process. Say you take that course and you say, I'm all in. I want to go and I want to start and I want to become a prince, a king. It's calling me, right? This is coming up from my soul. I know this is the truth. You're going to get on that plane. You're going to follow our expat guidelines. We're going to make a preparation for you to receive you. You're going to come right into our arms, right into your apartment, and we're going to start going through, and you're going to start step by step every day, starting to learn the culture and actually perform the culture. So you're going to start dressing and blending in with the society and understanding the dynamics, right? Then from learning the culture, we're still going to be going through and going over the manuscripts for each step, right? Because you're going to make a certain goal, you're going to make a certain achievement, then we're going to celebrate that, and we're going to take the next step. Those steps eventually will lead to the administration of the community, right?
Right.
So the community will have 13 different administrations point, like media relations. We're going to learn how we do that within the kingdom. We're going to have health, where we talk about nutritional health, from herbal medicines, from natural healing. We're going to have an administration which deals with just women, right? Women and men are different. Why is it one against the other, or even a comparison?
Right.
Nobody goes around and, hey, let's compare trees.
No, we don't.
No.
Ants.
Let's compare ants.
Right, right.
And argue about this ant is red and this ant is black. No. We're going to deal with what the woman's needs are and facilitate that.
Yes.
Right? Then she's also going to learn what her cultural roles are, what her personal goals are. We're going to assess those goals, and we're going to create a plan and execute that. We're going to now say, you have to first be an upstanding and have a strong moral fiber as an individual, and then have order in your family. So now we have to remend family relations. So women have to learn again to be wives,
Yes.
right? You have to learn again to be wives and how we structure motherhood, right? For the sake of the children.
Yes.
And how we restructure the family from a historical standpoint. And that is okay,
Yes.
right? So we don't all try to fit into some cookie cutter model. You're going to fit into the situation that works for you according to what you have and what you need. So we're going to solve those things, and we're going to accept the answers to the problems and those social issues, and we're going to grow and move forward. We are going to change.
Yes. Yes.
There's a difference between trying to change and make something work that doesn't,
Right.
rather than change yourself to match the solution and bypass the problem. You've solved it, it becomes a stepping stone for you, and you move forward. This is what we're doing. So some people will go into the administrations, and again, each administration has its governance. We have a court. So there's a whole house of judgment where we will be judging issues. You'll be dealing with marriages, some divorces. Marriages don't work out. Who has the right? Right? The whole position is actually opposite of America. In America, you have to fight for your rights. And if you don't know what your rights are, you don't have any. We're not even hiding the rights from you. We're telling you what your right is when you get here, and you have the right to have it. And there is a proper way of obtaining the thing that you want within your rights, so that it's just not reckless. You just can't take it from somebody else. You have to build it yourself. You have to create it yourself. You have to foster it. You have to nurture it. These things is what's necessary for a person to get to each step. So you're not being jealous because your neighbor has a nice car. You're going to build the business. You're going to take the steps and put in the work, and you're going to have a nice car. It's going to be a different business from your neighbor. It can be the same. We're not saying that, but right now, when you're building a new community, some diversity is going to be necessary. I don't need everybody growing oranges, because we need to eat more than that. So there's diversification. And the ones who are strong in one area, well, they're going to be utilized in the areas of their strengths. This is the step. So we're talking about getting from where we are now, which is at ground zero, to get to nobility and self-sufficiency. We're not just going to learn. Here, we're going to do it. So once you get on that plane and you get here, you may get on that plane and have some general understanding. Maybe you read all the course materials. You listen to the music, and it's motivating you, and you're ready to go. You got a copy of the scroll. You're just looking at it and its beauty, and you're trying to decipher. You have all these aspirations. When you get here, we're going to build everything one step at a time, one day at a time, till we have self-sufficiency and a self-governing community, a self-governing city. So I don't expect this to appeal to everybody. We're looking for clean slates.
Yes. Yes.
All right? If you're coming to us, you have to understand you don't know. I don't care what you read in what book, even if it's from the books we gave you. When you get here and see that it's different within the culture, you don't know. Just because you read, you have knowledge of, but you don't know. You have not experienced. And you have to have both. You need to have the education, the knowledge, and the culture to work together to build the civilization which we are about to build. Because we are giving birth to a kingdom. And the kingdom can only be birthed in a kingdom.
Yes, 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 yes. And this is the Hashemite
Kingdom. So here you'll see you don't have any say against the leadership. There's absolute respect and authority. What needs to be said and what is said for the people to do gets done. You can read it, right? You can get some understanding about it, but it's going to get done.
Correct. Yes, it will.
It's going to get done. It's a different mentality in the kingdom. Honor and respect is paramount, right? There's no cussing people out. There's no telling people off. I mean, you have the right to express what the problem is, and you have the right to talk about what the solutions are. But disrespect is not tolerated. There's actually a zero tolerance policy. One of the most expensive crimes you can commit here is calling somebody out their name and calling somebody a liar. That's almost a $300,000 fine.
Wow.
That's a penalty to pay for verbally disrespecting somebody. Now we're going to have to redefine what verbal disrespect is.
Yes.
Because somebody saying this is not the correct procedure to do this here. That's not disrespecting you.
Right.
Let's take the time. Let's reevaluate what is the proper procedure. We're here to learn.
Yes.
So we're going to learn.
Yes.
And, for all of this, for somebody to come and start as a regular person from America that was ignored, bypassed, overlooked, punished for being smart, punished for thinking. You're going to come here and you're going to be rewarded for that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Right? If you're a good person and you want to do good and be good and do good things according to the text, according to the manuscript,
yes,
you're going to be highly rewarded. This festival is so special because the house of instruction wasn't started with me. It was passed down to me, but it didn't start with me. It started with Moses. So when Moses was in Egypt, he went back there, and people don't know that. For years, he sat there while they were going through the plagues, and he was reteaching the law.
Wow.
Right? And he didn't implement the sign of the covenant of keeping the law, the Shabbat, until after they got out and they were starting their self-governing society, their self-governing community. When they went to Mount Sinai, after he discussed about the Shabbat and how we're going to keep this, right? How we're going to keep ourselves under this law. And then they had just the paperwork. They then go to Mount Sinai and receive it from God himself, right? Now, this is the story that is in the manuscript. But if you look at the process, they had a book and they started with the book. From that book, they left from where they were, and then they started in a smaller location, which was Jethro's house. And from Jethro's house, they kind of got things together to where they had some semblance of a community and they were self-governed. From that, they went and got the full, absolute repeat of the law with perfection and light from God himself, and became this great story of this great nation. And the day that they arrived on Mount Sinai is today. It's the Feast of Shavuot.
Wow.
So here we are again, opening the house of instruction to all of you.
Yes.
so that you can come and learn the same law and culture that Moses taught from the same school passed down from Moses all the way down to me today, the same manuscripts. So we're going to teach you the same things so that you can now join us in recreating this kingdom and give birth to a kingdom from within the kingdom. Because you can't give birth to a kingdom in a democracy.
Wow. I tell you, this is so exciting.
Absolutely.
This is so exciting. And for our viewers that are watching, you might be saying, oh, it's Shavuot. Yes, it is. And if you want to learn more and to know more and have understanding concerning the Shabbats, the festivals, the calendar, please, I am begging you, go to the link in the description box, sign up for the courses, as well as join the Clubhouse podcast meetings.
Also our YouTube,
Yes,
House of
YouTube.
Instruction. We have our own YouTube page.
Yes.
Feel free to look at the videos there, because believe me, we have over 300 videos of the journey where I made this journey to compile this information to be able to create this school. And I want you all, you can just participate. You can begin to see what I was doing. You can see some of the proclamations that I had to make before we got to this time, because it's real dangerous now.
Yes.
I mean, destruction is imminent, I believe, but to each his own. Everybody acts like it's just okay with the status quo of the world. They're cutting off the gas in Europe. Listen, people fight.
Yes. War.
I know
in
people who
places.
fight the gas man when he comes to the house to cut off the gas.
Yes.
Because they need heat, let alone they're cutting off the gas to an entire countries.
Yes.
Them's fighting words. I don't know, I'm not saying I know when it's going to happen, but we getting kind of close. We cutting it kind of short. So we're at this point now where we can say, hey, let's get a head start on getting our community. And if you don't agree with living under this type of rules, right? That doesn't mean like we're enemies. That's fine. You can formulate your own groups, but I believe in the survival of a people.
Yes.
This is my answer that I found for the people who think like me, for the people who desire to live under these rules.
Yes.
Right? Who want the customs and the traditions, and who want the days of old that you read about in the holy books. If you want that, this is the place for you.
Yes.
But you're going to have to come in with a clean slate. However, if you have your own groups and your own beliefs and your own systems, by all means, you guys gather yourselves together and formulate a plan to survive, because famines are coming. Store shelves are empty throughout the states. You're going to have to formulate where you're going to go and get some kind of self-governance to protect you from your own government. So that's my my stance. I'm not here to make some new religion, right? You can keep your religion.
Yes. Yes.
We're here talking about practically living under these rules and in this culture. What you believe, keep it to yourself and don't discuss it.
Yes.
We don't discuss religion here.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, when I first arrived here, my friend, right, who was a member of one of the tribes of Israel, one of the northern tribes who lives here, he said to me expressly, do not discuss with nobody your religion. They will fight, it'll cause you to fight.
Yes.
You Muslim, and what Muslim means, and I'm just giving the definition of Muslim. It means one who lives under the laws given by God, whether it be through Prophet Muhammad or Prophet Moses. If you live under those laws given, you can live together in peace and in harmony, and there is no conflict. So if you want to live in that type of society and under those rules, come join us here.
Yes, yes. And you know, when I came here, what was so surprising was seeing that every person I met, it was immediately welcome to Jordan or welcome home. What a feeling.
And
what a feeling.
Again, you're going to need your passport. And you're going to need a few other things. I mean, it's a quite extensive list to be able to stay here for the 5-year period that you're going to need to grow into the community before we move into our own city.
Yes.
So you're going to have to literally just kind of indulge and kind of dig through information, and we're going to be pouring it out to you. So get your questions ready. Go to the website, sign up. It's just $20 a month, and there's 8 classes. Now, those classes, we're going to go through those manuscripts. And at this point, with just the foundations, while all the books are made available, we're just going to focus on just the initial book of the law, because from this book is where you're going to learn the laws and the rules that govern what we do here, what you can do and what you can't do, and how we are supposed to be. So we're going to go through that entirely in foundations.
Yes.
When you get here, oh man, it's going to be like a whole new world. It's going to open up, and it's just going to be, I mean, you're going to be kind of awe-inspired.
Yes, you are.
You know, when you see what we're building and what we've already built, you're going to see, like, how were you able to do this? And to be honest with you, it comes from your contribution. Your contribution in joining the class, whether you attend the class or not, just joining the class, your contribution goes towards buying land, building the buildings, right? Filling the stores, right? Your contribution goes into everything that the community is going to need to receive you. So if you buy the books and you give it away as a gift, right? That's fine. Just make sure you buy more books or tell other people to buy books, because it is this money that comes in which help buy the buildings, which is going to help put in the furniture, so that when people come, here's something people don't know. All of our apartments are fully furnished.
Yes.
Right? It comes fully furnished, so that you just have to bring your laundry, get off the plane, come in, get some rest, right? Our plan comes with room and board. So you come in and you're already prepared for a first year.
Yes.
Right, room and board. You have your housing, you have your food, you have your health care, study materials, dental. You know, this is important.
Yes, it is.
You have to have all of this lined out, because you're changing into a system. Then we start talking about businesses. How many days are you going to need to work? What jobs you're going to do? Getting a new skill, which is paid training.
Yes.
Right? I came here and I did an internship for washing machine repair. And now that's a viable business where I can go out and do washing machine repair jobs, rebuilding washing machines. It's not difficult, it's not hard, but it's very lucrative.
And for myself, you know, I come from a hospitality background, from restaurants to housekeeping, and now I'm doing maid servant housekeeping work. So, you know, what you have done can be used. And it's just up to you.
It's up to you. And we formalize that. And one of the strategies is taking the skills you have or the skill you acquire and formulating the business. That business can employ new people.
Yes.
Those new people, they're not going to work 40 and 50, 60 hours a week.
No.
You're going to work a few days a week because you still have to come in for your classes and for your trainings and for your mentorings. And you also will then formulate a business.
Right.
So now you're growing your family. Your children are growing into the family business. The business is growing employees. Those employees are growing out of the business and formulating new support businesses, right? If you have a supermarket, we're also going to need a trucking company to bring in the supplies to our supermarket. Yes. We're going to be fully automated and self-serving.
Yes.
So if we don't have it now, what do we need to do this for ourselves? Yes. Once we're doing it for ourselves, we can outsource and do it for others.
Yes.
So that's growing the business. So everybody will become a rescuer. Right?
Yes.
We are now rescuing ourselves from our own delusions and out of the oppressive bondage of living in these societies where you have to fight for your rights, where you have to fight oppression, where you always have to deal with outward and open racism and prejudices that's part of a system.
And sexism.
That's part of a system.
Yes.
Well, now we're going to get out of that system. We have a new system.
Yes.
And we're going to implement that system because guess what? It was better when we had our own land.
Yes, it was.
And could provide for ourselves.
Yes.
So it's better we do that than we continue trying to fight a losing battle, by the way, of trying to get somebody to get some act right.
Yes. Yes.
Because they're not going to do it. They haven't done it in 400 years.
And after the 40 years, they didn't make it to the 1,000 years. So here is our second chance. And, you know, it's great to know that we have another opportunity to get it right. Because it's not even about us. It's all about Yah's memra, God's memra, his promise to our fathers Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and the rest of our forefathers. We are the descendants, and let us be the ones to continue their memory.
Well, we have to be the ones to not only continue the memory, we have to take over the story.
Yes.
We have to stop looking for someone else to tell the story and to show us and to teach us what to do. Now we're going to do it ourselves. Nobody's doing it anywhere in the world. You can go look anywhere. Nobody's doing this.
No.
So now we have the house of instruction, and it's available to you on the same day that the Most High appeared on Mount Sinai to talk to Moses and to give the children, again, this same law, which we are presenting to you today. So check out the links, check out the information, and I'll see you in class.
We'll see you later. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.